Well, hi folks, another sort of fortnightly-ish roundup of all the stuff. So not a lot going on really, because it's still been pretty cold and we've had quite a lack of sunshine compared to some. So there are my leeks in the big polystyrene box, starting to grow a little bit now. A couple of leaves on each one. So they should be ready to go out in about June time. The reject onions, I should just plant those out in the garden in my plot somewhere and see how they get on. The banana shallots, likewise, putting a couple of leaves on now. Growing really slowly though this year. We've got another 2 trays there, so I've got about 120 to go at. But steady away. Saw some cabbage and kale and things. That's the kale, that's growing quite quickly relative to the other stuff. And then some savoys there. It doesn't matter if they get a bit leggy because you can plant cabbages straight up to the bottom of the first leaves without any trouble. Some more cabbage there, some red cabbage again, only half a dozen, and the first lettuce. There's some little gem and some multigreen, I think that's what I've planted. Again, growing really slowly even in the greenhouse because we've had pitiful weather of late. And then the potatoes, which are growing bonkers to be honest. I've had to fleece everything up the last couple of nights. We had it down to about -3 last night. So I fleeced it up and managed to snap a few leaves off in the process, but it's better than getting them all frosted off. But they're growing really well, so I might even try and pull one of those up sort of middle of May. See if we've got any, just for a test pot. So as soon as we get any flowers on any of them, I'll try one and see if we've got any spuds. But that's what's going on in the greenhouse. Not a lot, just a few seedlings ticking over, a few cabbages and stuff like that. So I'll nip up to the plot and I'll show you what's going on up there, which is similarly pretty little. I'll just show you my little tomatoes. These are the giant tomatoes that I'm growing this year. I've only sown half a dozen and I'm probably only planting 3 or 4 out. They're all from like 4.5, 5 pound tomatoes. Some from my own seed, which is good to see that they've germinated, and some from other people's, one from a 5 pound one. So we'll see how we get on with those. And these are those Asparagus Chilies. Supposed to be the longest chilies in the world, so I'm giving those a go. But I planted those about 2 months ago and they're just growing so slowly. But we'll see, they should pick up once it warms up, and then I can put them in the greenhouse so they get some proper light. Right, we'll just nip up to the plot now and show you what's going on up there. Well, hi folks, here we are up at the plot, and I'll show you what's going on up here, which isn't a great deal either. But you can see my garlic's all come up now. Had a few misfires because we had a rabbit in straight after and dug a few bulbs up, well, cloves up, so I've got about 5 missing. Got a few dandelions coming through there and they're digging out as well. So like I say, nothing else in here yet. All the cabbages and things in the polytunnel in the greenhouse that are growing away, they'll be planted out probably early May, sometime like that. And the kale and lettuce and things like that, so that should fill this bed up. It's looking a bit bleak at the moment, but it's still early days. Oh dog. These are my potatoes, I've got them all out now. Don't know why, because they're not going to grow, it's so cold. We had a -3 last night, apparently, so they won't be moving for a while. But they're all in now, they're all in the positions. And I've got an artichoke in there, and another artichoke in another pot that Tony from UK Here We Grow sent me. Sent me a few artichokes, so I've given those a go. Never grown them before, never even eaten one. So we'll see how they get on. We'll just have a look in the polytunnel and see what's going on in there. So I've not been into the polytunnel since last night when we had about probably -3, -4 frost. So I'll go have a see what temperature it got down to first. Some of my onions are looking a bit sorry for themselves, looking a bit yellow, which is a sign of cold, I think. So what did we get down to last night? -2 in here, which isn't good. A maximum of 35, so that's it's a fair old range of temperatures, isn't it? But anyway, no, they're looking like they've had a bit of a slight frosting. The leaves are looking a little bit yellow, which is disappointing, but there's not a lot I can do about it. But anyway, we'll see. Hopefully it doesn't do them any damage, but it may make them go to seed later on. But anyway, we'll see. Not a lot I can do. Not having the facilities to put heaters on and stuff. There the carrots are planted out. I'm trying them a different way. The giant ones, I'm putting them under the white polythene to conserve the moisture. So that's different to last year because I'm over watering myself, and that tends to make them split. So giving it a go like that this year. The peas in the gutters are just starting to poke through now, the odd one. So, I mean, they've been slow even in here because it's just been no sunshine up here for 2 weeks. It's been sunny down south by the looks of things, but up here it's just been dull and cold, so even stuff indoors hasn't really raced along. So they'll be planted out as soon as they're about 2 inches tall. Just slid into a trench in the garden for my peas. So that's about it in the polytunnel. Disappointed it got that cold last night and things look like they've suffered a tad, so just give you a quick look outside and then that should be about it. So my rhubarb's finally got going a little bit, a few little leaves on it, so I'm still way behind a lot of people, but at least it's starting to grow a touch. The other one's a bit looks a bit slow though, but that's a later variety. There's a dog. Come on, oi, come here, get off the onions. Planted a few onions in between the gooseberries. These are those pathetic gooseberry bushes that got bare rooted, which were supposed to be potted on. But they've got buds on, so I suppose they are growing. They must have rooted if they're budding. But I can't see me getting a miraculous crop off those this year. And I've decided to plant a few show potatoes, only 5 bags this year, because I just can't be bothered with them. I've done it too many years. So there's just 5 little bags of kestrel potatoes in there. So into my last bit, this is where the marrows are growing eventually. Managed to get it all worked over now, dug over and tilled up. So I'll just dig a couple of giant planting holes and enrich those for the marrows to go in, and they won't be going out until June at the earliest, at the very earliest. So these are the shallots I planted a while ago. They've had the full brunt of the frost, so they'll have had about -4 last night. But they seem quite tough. And then these are the heat treated onions I planted, slowly starting to grow now. Now hopefully because of the frost they shouldn't go to seed, because with them being heat treated, that's the idea, they don't go to seed even if they get a stress like a really cold night or two. So that's about it folks. Like I say, not a lot going on still. This season just never seems to get started. It seems to be just so cold I just can't get anything started off. So that's about it folks, just a little quick roundup, fortnightly sort of roundup jobby. See you later.